Hi, it's Ellie Alexander, and it is time for another 5 Things Friday. This week, it is Winter Beer Edition. Who's excited to talk about winter and craft beers, especially in front of a cozy fireplace? So, because it's winter, it's officially winter, it's January, and just the other day I delivered book number 3 in the Sloan Krause Mysteries series. My title for that one, get ready for it, is Beyond a Reasonable Stout. I have to give cheers to my husband for that title. He came up with it, and it's brilliant. If you're not familiar with the Sloan Krause series, the first book, now available in mass market paperback, Death on Tap, came out last year, and book number 2, The Pint of No Return, just released this past fall. So Beyond a Reasonable Stout will be book 3, and in the book, Sloan, our amazing craft brewer extraordinaire, is leaning into the winter season. This series is set up in Leavenworth, Washington, where it dumps gobs and gobs and gobs of snow in the northern Cascades. So this week for our 5 things, I thought it would be fun to share 5 of my favorite Pacific Northwest winter beers. Now, I know a lot of you are not from the Pacific Northwest, and this just happens to be my lineup of winter beers that I can get here in the Pacific Northwest and am familiar with. So I'm definitely going to want to hear about winter beers in other locales around the globe. But for starters, let's get right to it. Beer number 1. This is Hop Shindig by Matchless Brewing up in Tumwater, Washington. It's a fresh winter hop ale. I know that for a lot of people, when you think winter ale, you think heavy and dark, and certainly you can find those beers. But being a Pacific Northwest native in the land of lush hops, where literally you can drive for hours through hop fields, I like my winter ales to have a nice little bite. And this particular winter ale has been hopped to the max, so I'm super excited to try it. The other thing that I love about this is, let's be honest, the can. How adorable is that can? Don't you just want to cozy up with a book and this beautiful can in front of a fireplace or, on your couch? One of the things about writing the Sloan Krause Mysteries for me is making craft beer seem less terrifying. I know that like wine, it can be intimidating if you go into a brew pub and you see 37 taps and you have no idea where to start. One thing that Sloan does throughout the series is explain the process and maybe what you might be tasting. I also think sometimes you could just try a beer based on the cuteness of the can. Maybe it'll be great, maybe it'll be a disaster, but hey, you'll have a cute can and that could start a collection, who knows? Beer number 2. Beer number 2 is Pray for Snow, a winter ale by 10 Barrel Brewing out of Bend in Central Oregon. I have been a fan of 10 Barrel for many, many years. They make such interesting beers, and this winter beer is a favorite and a tradition in our household. It usually comes out in like late fall, so you start to get excited like, ooh, is it gonna be on shelves yet? And at that time of year, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, we are all actually praying for snow. Now, interesting fact, 10 Barrel got bought out a few years ago by one of the big breweries. And there was a lot of debate and controversy about that. And I've thought about that in terms of writing the Sloan Krause Mystery series, because Sloan and Garrett in the series have launched a nano brewery, Nitro, which is a very small startup brewery. And that's something that's happened a lot, especially here in the Northwest. You have these really innovative craft brewers who start these small little breweries and they're making just these amazing, amazing beers. And then they get bought out by the big guys. And that's great for the brewers. They can kind of cash in and maybe they get to go on and start something else, or I don't know, they start a rafting company. But for fans of their beer, it's always a little disheartening, like, oh, does that mean it's gonna stay the same? Or are the big guys gonna come in and completely change how the beer is made or how it tastes? So stay tuned for a future plot point about craft beer takeovers. I don't know when that's coming, maybe book 4. Number 3, Number 3 is Strong Gale Winter Ale by Bowie Beer Company. Bowie Beer Company is on the Oregon coast in Astoria. If you're unfamiliar with Astoria, Astoria is on the coast where the Pacific Ocean meets the Columbia River. And Bowie is right downtown in the heart of the city, and they're always doing interesting and innovative things. Here's what I'm excited about for this winter ale, and that is the hop factor. This beer comes in at 70 IBUs. IBUs are the International Bittering Units. I learned so much in researching the Sloan Krause Mystery Series. Brewers of all shapes and sizes invited me in to their brew pubs and taught me so much about the craft and what goes into the craft. Well, IBUs is a huge tip if you're new to the world of craft beer, because if you do not like hops, you're not going to want to try something with 70 IBUs. If you're a fan of hops and that hit of citrus, then this is definitely going to be a beer that you're interested in. The higher the IBU level, the hoppier the beer. So this is going to be a very hoppy winter beer. Number 4. Number 4 is Freem's Winter Ale. I think Freem made my list for my 5 things fall beer because I think, let's be honest, they're one of my favorite breweries ever. They're located in Hood River, Oregon, the windsurfing capital of the world, and they keep winning award after award after award. This beer is my favorite holiday beer of all time. It came out a few years ago, and we were at a pizza place with some friends of ours, and they had this on tap, and we were all like, what is this beer that we're drinking? It's so good. It's hoppy, it has these hints of pine and citrus, and then it was impossible to find. So we were literally running all around town. One Christmas, I think maybe 2 years ago, we drove out to Hood River just to buy a case. What I love about this is when I first was introduced to beer myself, it was in college, and let's be honest, it was bad, terrible, non-craft beer in a can. I really credit my sister with introducing me to craft beer. She took me to Portland Brewing back in the day, which, side note, I just learned that Portland Brewing has closed its doors for good. So sad. It was one of the first real brew pubs in Portland back in the early 90s when that scene was just starting to kick off. And I said, like, ooh, I don't think I like Christmas beers. I don't think I like winter beers. They're too much for me. And she had me try a Bobby Dazzler. And it's one of my favorite beers of all time, which of course, sadly, they don't make anymore. And my husband, who is a home brewer, has tried to make a clone. But anyway, Freem, fortunately, has replaced that for me. It's my new favorite. If you're in Oregon, you have to go to Freem and try it. Number 5, Dark Persuasion German Chocolate Cake Ale by Icicle Brewing Company. Yeah, I said that right. It's German chocolate cake in a bottle. I had to save this for last because Icicle Brewing is in Leavenworth, Washington. I did an interview a while back with Pam, one of the owners of Icicle Creek, and she is just like a walking encyclopedia of beer and beer knowledge. And they are located in Leavenworth, Washington, and the inspiration really for the Sloan Krause series. When we would visit Leavenworth, we would always go and have a pint after a day out exploring town or hiking and sit outside by their fires and have a pint and just kind of reflect and look at the beautiful mountains. And I got to thinking like, wow, wouldn't it be perfect to set a book here? So this beer is like drinking your cake and eating it too. It has notes of chocolate and coconut. It's like a little slice of Bavaria, or as Sloan calls it, Beervaria. As always, thanks for joining me for another 5 Things Friday, Winter Beer Edition. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. And as I mentioned earlier, I really want to hear from you. What are your favorite winter beers? Have you tried any of these? Or what else do you think I should try? I'm always on the hunt for a new delicious pint. Cheers and happy reading.